All right, we don't usually do intros, so we're not going to do one today either. But what we're going to talk about is this podcast and what it's going to be about. So, sixth episode, mistakes and misconceptions. Romeo, where do we even start?
Mistakes and misconceptions. I mean, we can start with our mistakes. But before we go ahead, like
Yeah.
I just want to thank a lot of those people who have actually messaged us, and I'm actually quite surprised how, I mean, there are so many people who actually tune into us, listen to us. And I actually got a lot of messages from a lot of people who actually do not listen to podcasts, but they actually love our podcast. And our podcasts are not like short, they're pretty
Pretty
time
long.
consuming. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've seen a lot of people also bash us, which is fine.
I think we
It,
kind of expected that though.
yeah, it's also because maybe we talked about them and some of them did say, oh, who's gonna listen to them? Well, a lot of people did. And like, I think there's a movie, right? I Know What You Did Last Summer. They all know what you did. But yeah. So I don't know what you want to do with that information. Okay, just kidding. I'm just gonna be less shady. Yeah, I just wanna thank each and every one of you out there who's actually spent time on your commode, on your desk, just listen to us. And like huge shout out to a lot of people who I didn't know who came on my public page, and they literally said we usually don't listen to podcasts and we really liked it, and that was nice. I'll start off with one thing. It's not really a misconception, but it is also, and it's a lot of, it could be a little bit of an insight also. I started this public page of mine, right? Because with the nature of work I had in Garina, I wasn't allowed, or let's just say it was for safety. I didn't have a public figure page. Also, when you work for a publisher, there's a lot of responsibilities, right? Also the audience is massive. It's in millions, so
Oh yeah.
you get bombarded by a lot of things that you have no control over, and your questions. So I have 90% of the younger audience would ask how to get into esports, and almost 100% is how do they become a pro player. The thing is, if you look at the mobile audience or mobile professional players, I don't feel like we should also force the current existing pool of professionals to go out of their way and say, yeah, teach young uh, aspiring people how to become a pro. But then again, right, a lot of these guys ask me, how do I become a pro? It's, if you just ask me, it's very fairly simple. If I say, right, you need to be good, you need to bring out consistent results, um, and then you get noticed. But then the question is, how do I
Get noticed.
get noticed? That's still, chodo. Like that's still like stage two. Stage one is, of course, you need to get a set of people if you're playing a game like BGMI, PUBG Mobile, or Free Fire, or Wild Rift for that matter, right? I think no one has that one answer, right? I can't tell you, hey, go to this server. You're gonna meet the next Shroud, or the next Tens. I think it's all about not giving up. I mean, look at our example when we used to compete, right? And I think the only reason why we enjoyed playing, even though we sucked at a certain stage when we started, was because we really wanted to get better. We really wanted to play against the best. I think as long as you have that, right? I always recommend this to anyone who comes from, especially the Free Fire community, is play as many community events as possible with your friends. You get noticed, and then if your friends or if that team doesn't share the same vision, move on
Yeah.
and find better people, dude. Like, I think, yes, friendship is super important, but if you really want to go pro, and if you see the other people who might not share the same idea in terms of other things as you, but share the same hunger, then maybe you guys could become
I actually have an example for this. Sorry, go on.
yeah, I mean, play a lot of these small events, dude. I don't like all these current existing pros. They then become, for example, in Free Fire, or you have so many players who became who they are by playing a lot of these underdog teams. I mean, you have casted so many of those events, right? Like Free Fire Battle Arena, Brawler Bash. That's one thing I think the PC scene in India doesn't have over mobile esports. I think you see a lot of good quality underdog players. And I'm not saying the PC scene doesn't have, will never have that, but that is something that mobile ecosystem has been able to do so consistently. And it's so nice and it's a great feeling when I get to see, new teams like captains, or I mean, they're not new anymore.
Yeah, at this point,
Um,
no.
yeah. And then this current season of the Free Fire India Championship also, I saw a lot of new teams, right? And they play really good. They're really making the other teams work a lot. And yeah, see, like simple answer. Find a group of people who sync, who think, or who share the same goal as you. Practice, of course. Sign up to as many community events as possible. Do not care if you lose. You will find a group. It's like matchmaking. It's like Tinder, you just have to find you just have to find that great match, right? And then honestly, there are people now that used to play with me, and now I remember how we used to be teammates. We were never good together because we never looked at the game the same way. That's all. And if you could find someone out there or a group of people who think exactly like you do, who share the same vision, trust me, you're gonna be growing really, really fast. But if you are stuck with the same team, you're not bringing results, you don't think the same thing, but you're like, no, he's my brother. But well, you know, it's like cricket,
It is.
or it's like football. People keep trying the different teams, or they start from community tryouts, or that's how it is. And it's very easy for me to say, jada khelo, sign up to more community events, but it's actually true.
It is.
Anyway, so back to you.
Yeah, yeah. So no, the example I had, right? If we have boomers like us listening to the podcast who played CS 1.6 and have followed that, if I recall this correctly, Neo and Taz were not the best
Yeah.
of friends when they started playing in a team. They were, well, you could call them sort of arch rivals and arch nemesis of each other, but they realized together they could go out and win tournaments. So it doesn't matter. You can be great friends and make a team. We've seen teams work out on that. There's no one formula to it. At the end of the day, you have to look at it as a professional. Sure, you might have your best friend, you might have your blood brother playing on the same team, but if he's not good enough, he's just not good enough. You have to move on. You have to find the right bunch of people for the goal that you have. And I know that's not going to be easy because we've all been through the grind. But to put it simply, there's no one way, there's no one defined way to go for it. But there are certain things that you can look out for. Obviously, you want to get noticed yourself. It doesn't matter if your team is bad. A lot of times, I've seen a lot of times newer players complain, hey man, my team is not good enough. Fair, your team might not be good enough, but if you step up on an individual level on a consistent basis, you
You'll
will
get
get
noticed.
noticed and you will be picked up by a better team. Your goal is always to be picked up by a better team, better team, better team. And then you get to a point where you feel like, you know what? We are going in with the mindset and we have the confidence of winning tournaments with this lineup. That is when it actually gets real. That is when you start competing in the truest sense. Because up until that point, the only thing you're trying to do is you're trying to climb the ladder. And that's something that happened to me. I still remember Battlefield 3 uh, is when I broke out of the scene. I was playing for this team called Zap, which went on to become ISUD. We actually won the second place. It was ICGC Goa 2012. The very first time I broke out of the scene. And I had no idea about the game, by the way. I used to play CS 1.6 with a friend of mine, Viraj Bidkar. Viru Gok was his name. If you're listening, shout out to you. He was the guy who convinced me to buy Battlefield. And I was a big CS 1.6 fanatic. So I remember him telling me, dude, you know what? Start playing PS3. I'll get you in a team and we'll compete together. I was like, dude, you know what? Battlefield is like a vacation, but CS is where the heart is. CS is where the home is. But turns out eventually I started playing more. And how I got into the team is a different story. It's a very funny story, but I got into the team and I was not even on the active roster. I was pretty bad at the game. But then, so we used to have this recruit system. So we would have a team, and then we'd have a couple of more players, and every night we would have internal scrims, 4v4, 5v5, and we would just teach new players how to actually play the game. That is one thing that I really enjoyed about the Battlefield community. We had like 500 or 1,000 players in the country max, and it was such a tight community that we would actually get new players on board and teach them. Obviously, it's not possible all the time with the volume of the players now, but I joined that team. I stayed with the team for the duration of the game. There was one more team called Death Faction, best team in India by far, massive skill gap. But when Battlefield 4 came around the corner and when teams started shuffling, and since that improved over time in the same roster, one of my teammates got picked up by this Indonesian team called Bindy Geeks, BDGS. And eventually, with the friendships you have or with the network you build over time, you get picked up into rosters. A lot of times it's also networking. You need to, if you have the right bunch of people around, hey man, this guy's a good player, and you've been playing decently as well. Try and reach out to your friends. Try and reach out to players in other teams who happen to be a good friend of yours, and ask them, tell them, hey man, I want a shot, and try me out. If it works out, it's fine. If it doesn't, then it's completely okay. But reach out, be proactive. Don't just wait for teams to reach out to you. If they don't reach out to you, reach out to them. Use your network. That's what I did. I still remember the very first time we were, so it was a 2v1. Basically, they just wanted to see if I can hold them off. And two of the best players, by the way. One, I happen to be from Singapore, and Sector 7, by far the best player in the country. He's from Kolkata. So 1v2, all they wanted to see is my basic, if my mechanics were right, if I was able to hold them off, which I did. And next thing I know, half an hour later, I'm in the team. And we went on to become the best team in Asia. I still remember, I think even if you guys search for bindings or faction on ESL versus ESL, if you guys remember, it was a thing back in the day. You can still find results in the ESL BF4 domination cups. We used to have weekly domination cups. Teams from Japan, Singapore, etc., used to play. And there would always be very strong competition between my team and BYC, which was a Japanese team. The idea is build a network, be better than the rest of your teammates, and climb the ladder. Once you get to a certain point, you go out and win tournaments. I know it's a fairly long story, but it is.
And get good.
Get good. Get good. But the other thing, right? This is, obviously we're going on a tangent, right? But this is something that a lot of, especially in the mobile community, it rubs off a lot of players in the wrong way. Is invite only tournaments. Like, why are you not?
Oh yes. I have a lot to talk about this. But me and Mamba also hate each other. We just do this podcast for fun. I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Kidding. Yeah.
If you can bring good content to the table.
Yeah. So
why not?
Invite only.
Yeah, invite only.
I'm gonna say this specifically to the Free Fire community.
I think Free Fire community still has it better than the PUBG community, just by the way.
No, I'm targeting the Free Fire community for this because I used to get so many messages on my work number saying, you guys only do events with YouTubers, but open the Free Fire esports roadmap. Tell me how many are invite only. You have Free Fire India Championship, which has open qualifiers. Okay. Pro League. Also, every event out there. Yes, there are slots. If you look at Valorant or if you look at Rainbow Six or Overwatch, then you'll say it's unfair, right? Because you're like, yeah, you're seeing the same teams because they are good. They qualified. If a certain YouTuber, agar koi YouTuber, I'm going to say this because I know that a lot of our audiences also said, please do the podcast in Hindi. I'm just going to say this part in Hindi. अगर कोई यूट्यूबर क्वालिफाई होता है ओपन क्वालिफायर से, वो गरीना की गलती नहीं है, क्राफ्टन की गलती नहीं है, राइट की गलती नहीं है. ठीक है, तो इफ यू आर गुड, अगर आप अच्छे खेलते हो, आप जरूर क्वालिफाई करोगे यार. इंस्टेड ऑफ क्राइंग टू पब्लिशर्स दैट आई एम नॉट क्वालिफाइंग, you need to practice, you need to train. How many teams have you seen? So many new teams, dude. More than 300, 500 new teams. I have not seen them complaining to us Trust me, the good teams never complain about these things. I
Because
am
they know.
sorry, if the good teams have a YouTuber, that's not my fault or anyone's fault. They might be good with the camera, they have good personality, they have a good fan following. That's why they are a content creator also. This misconception that, oh, this publisher only does invite only, no, that's completely false. Yes, there needs to be invite only events, because that's how you also bring in new partners, sponsors. You can't always do amateur events. Do you want to see what's that, under 19 or under 18 cricket? What's that?
Yeah, it's age group cricket. Yeah, under 19, under
Yeah.
14, under
Do you
15.
want to watch that, or do you want to watch the IPL? Tell me. Of course you'll watch the IPL. There are days you would want to watch. Same thing. Yeah. Like, I don't understand the hate for invite only events also. You need those events to bring in bigger partners, bigger investors, bigger eyeballs. Let's just say, जब वो number बन जाएगा, then you have money to do your amateur events. And I know for a fact, at least for Garena, because I work with them. Yes, there were a lot of amateur events. In fact, the the teams that would go on to win these amateur events, they went on to do very well in the pro events. I don't know why there was this hate for invite only events, YouTubers को बुलाते हो. अरे भाई, उनको हराओ तो आप उनके जगह लोगे. If you are not able to beat them, then I have answered a lot of people, and they usually do not have anything to say. You
You know,
need those events, dude. You need those invite only events also. What do you think? I mean, you've casted almost most of it.
all of it at this point, I guess, except for one
Oh,
event.
flex.
No, not flexing. I think I've only ever missed one event in the Free Fire esports circuit. The official ones, especially, is the Diwali All Stars last year, when I took a break after
He turned it
5
down.
years.
He turned it down.
No, I was in Igatpuri. I was taking a break.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't. No, it wasn't. Dude, I have 4 connections. Why would my internet be down?
No, I'm saying he turned it down. You turned it down.
Oh, you turned it down. Oh, no. Because I needed the break. Come on, dude. Like,
Yeah.
5 years of no vacation. 5 years.
Don't believe
5.
him, guys. Don't.
No, legit. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is invite only tournaments. So again, you talked about one of those things where players happen to have a YouTube channel, they're good and they qualify to a tournament. That's again one more thing I really want to cover. Players having that personality, being an asset to the organization. That's a different topic. But this one thing I really want to talk about over here is the reason why there are X number of invite only tournaments, 4 or 5 or whatever number of invite only tournaments, especially on a festive day or something like that, is because they pull in those numbers. How do you make? Okay, I think a lot of these new players also do not understand the revenue model behind it, right? And that's one of the reasons why they feel that it's unfair. But if you want to make money off of partnerships, endorsements, advertisements, you need numbers. And
Yeah.
these invite only tournaments invite popular YouTubers, invite popular content creators, people who will be able to pull in an audience. For example, the 2021 Cricket World Cup, right? Let's say hypothetically, a day before the match, BCCI announces Mahendra Singh Dhoni is going to play. कौन नहीं देखने जाएगा match? It will break records. It will break the internet.
Let's call your Mahendra Singh Dhoni Total Gaming, for example.
Yeah. Total gaming.
Yeah.
They're pulling numbers. I have a video. So there was a tournament happening on Booyah. It was called the Total Gaming Tournament. And I remember I just wanted to make a video for the announcement of the tournament. I called him, and Total Gaming has this persona where nobody has seen his face. So I called him. The vlog gets 2 million views.
I mean,
And
for
it's
those
just his
of
name. Yeah.
you who do not know who Total Gaming is, Mamba,
Is,
who is Total Gaming?
the biggest gaming YouTuber in the country.
28 million, I guess.
20. I think he's about at 30 or something.
Yeah, it's 28 million last
Yeah.
time I checked. Yeah.
So the point is that he has that power to pull in that audience. So anybody, as a matter of fact, it doesn't matter. If you can bring in the numbers, if people will turn up to watch you, they will invite you, because at the end of the day, in those events, they are going to get those numbers and make money. It's simple business, but it doesn't mean that they don't have other tournaments. the FFIC, the entire esports roadmap, for example, I talk about Free Fire more often is because I follow the entire circuit. 42 teams from open qualifiers, bottom 6 teams from the Pro League. In total, 48 teams. 42 teams coming from the open qualifiers. 42. And final 18 make it to the league stage of the FFIC. So
I mean, sorry, I have to like chime in again. Like 42 teams. If you are not one of the 42 teams, it's okay. There are more events.
Yeah.
Don't worry. And I think the third party or scrims that the community likes to call. There's so many scrims. Play those scrims. You still get to play your, top teams in scrims. The amount of scrims right now is, I think, 10x.
Oh,
than
yeah,
how it was.
absolutely.
I can't even keep track. I wish the PC circuit had that many events.
This reminds me. I'm sorry, Robi, but I have to cut you off on this. Remember, like 2010, 8, 9, messaging people on Steam, have 5.
Yeah.
PVT karoge. We don't have this infrastructure. We didn't have it.
No. This, you guys that come to my inbox saying, oh, how do I find a team? Hello, we didn't even have friends to play with at one point. We had to beg. Let's play now. Don't sleep. Leave your IT job. Come. You literally just have to log in. You have millions of players.
Oh, this reminds me. So again, one more CS 1.6 anecdote. 2009-ish, I think 2009. Yeah.
Such a boomer you are.
Fine, I'm a boomer. Okay, but I remember we used to have this pub server. We used to call them pubs, not pugs. 32 slot CS 1.6 server, the biggest servers there were. And we used to play Jailbreak during the day. It was a game mode. Listen. So we used to play Jailbreak, but at night we would disable AMX, and we would have about 25, 26 people come in every night. We would start off with Aztec, then go to Cobblestone, and go from larger maps to smaller maps because we would play 10v10. Then people would sleep off until we would go until 4 or 5 in the morning. So it starts around 11 at night, ends at 4 in the morning. But when it starts at 11, right? Sometimes they have limits. So, for example, when 10 people can play in a team, even if there are like 30 people on the server, it doesn't matter. You would have to sit that out, spectate the first game, spectate the second game, spectate the third game if you're not good enough. Yeah. Maybe in the fourth game, you would get a chance.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Oh, my God. Shit. Guys, I know this podcast is becoming like a boomer nostalgia podcast, but I remember you would go to the server. Imagine, guys, let's say you're playing a scrim or let's say some matchmaking shit, and then you're literally waiting to enter and you're just spectating. There would be times you would spectate and the captain has to choose. Like, he's like, my nick was PFX, so like, I want PFX. I want this. And when they choose you and you're the first guy, you are like, I'm the best. Yeah.
But to give context to this, right? Imagine if you guys were playing a Free Fire or a PUBG Mobile or BGMI scrim, right? Imagine if you had to sit through the first 4 maps, you would not even have an opportunity to play.
And you just watch.
You just watch. And by the way, this would also work on a system where you had to be in the server. You can't just show up at 4 in the morning and then you would get chosen. No, unless you waited through that, you would have priority. So
also, you need to be good. You need to be good, and people need to know you.
Yeah. So imagine if you have to sit through 4 games of BGMI until you can even participate in the scrim. So the amount of resources you guys have, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's much more accessible right now. The only thing you need to do is get good.
Play more.
Get good.
Play more. Get good. Watch replays. Watch, look at your mistakes. Analyze. I know it's like, get boring here, but
yeah,
that's how you improve, dude.
Oh, by the way, this is something that I think Shroud talked about on his stream as well, especially for FPS games. You don't need to play every single day. A lot of times what happens is people play so much that they don't really find the time to analyze matches. You play 5 days a week, spend 2 days, or maybe play 4 days a week, spend 3 days analyzing games. You're going to improve so much more quicker. So much. It's going to make it's a difference of night and day.
It's actually a very basic discipline that all the pros follow, right? Like even Shroud has mentioned. The
Yeah.
pros actually accept whatever shit they've done wrong,
Yeah.
and then they work. That's why they are who they are. There are a lot of players out there, maybe even in our region, who might even aim better than some of the other pros. But you know why they're not there is because they do not go back and rectify whatever they did in the last round. Like, I remember Shroud did say the difference between the pros and the existing ex CS:GO players was because the Valorant players are such tryhards that they literally go back and look at everything they did,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's why they're able to find so many new things, right? They're able to find newer lineups, able to find some crazy peak angles, and they're always going to be smarter than you know. And honestly, if you look at the history of every team that has dominated every game, it's not always the aim. It's not the aim that has made them win. I'm not talking about MOBA right now, excluding MOBA.
Yeah.
It's always this crazy group of people who have kind of figured out that current play style, and they're
Yeah.
abusing it to a certain extent, to a certain loop, that they're just able to dominate. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I used two competitive terms a while back. Wrong English, but guys, it's okay. Yeah, but the point is, they put in the effort, and this again brings me to a different tangent. Something I mentioned earlier that I'd cover, right? Is going off on those invite only tournament format, why there are invite only tournaments. This is something, imagine you break into the professional circuit. Now you join an org, doesn't matter T1, T2, T3 org, but you're an org, you have a chance to compete. What truly makes you an asset to the organization? I mean, Tense is amazing. He's an incredible player. But what apart from his game does he have to offer to the organization he is in? For example, right? Again, one more example. Cristiano Ronaldo coming back to Manchester United. There was such a massive backlog of his jerseys orders that Manchester United could not deliver all of them. You bring in value with regards to how big of a following you have, how presentable you are. If you're presentable, if you have a following, then it's easier for the organization to get in partnerships. And this is something that again a lot of people don't understand. You need to manage your public image. You can't, I mean, sure, it might not be on top of the list of your priorities, because the biggest priority you have is getting good at the game and winning tournaments. But at the same time, I believe it has, if not next to it, but just slightly below it, is to maintain a good public image and try and build up a great following, because that could be the differentiator eventually, if you're switching orgs or not. And that is also the differentiator between you getting great money and just good money or decent money out of even an organization, for example.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a little new for India, right? Because uh, all the orcs coming in, the ecosystem is, of course, growing so rapidly now.
Yeah.
But okay, since we've taken Tense Tyson as an example,
Yeah.
apart from his sick aim, right? He's such a humble content creator. He interacts with his audience, and he's like a very excited kid. You want to watch him, like
Yeah.
he brings that's like a very that value is his humbleness also, right? And he's always been humble even in Cloud9, right?
Yep.
Even when he was bench and he decided to step down and become a content creator, you saw how humble he was. And then look at Shroud also. He was never cocky even when he was competing. That's why people love him. He's like that brotherly figure for a lot of people. Like
Yeah.
he's really nice, and a lot of things he says. And trust me, I always watch Shroud stream whenever there's a watch party over the other stream, because he gives a lot of insights, and I know you do too. Um, yeah, and I think also like that pretty much answers the why are these people invited to the events, because they bring a lot of value. It's just some of the content creators might not be the best in the game, but they do bring a lot of value. They bring a lot of loyal fan following who will also. So this benefits the whole ecosystem, right? The audience and the publisher, uh, which means your game is gonna stay alive longer. sustain. Yeah,
Yeah.
very simple explanation here. Um, yeah, I do. Where do you wanna? What kind of snack do you wanna munch on now?
What kind of snack? God, I think we have a long list, a long list. But yeah, I need to again mention this. You know what truly had me flipping the table? A recent watch party, I think it was VCD Berlin itself, if I'm not mistaken. Shaudo was hosting a watch party while he was sleeping on the couch.
But
He's living the life.
he
He's
did
living
have
the life.
he did have someone else also in that watch party. No, no,
Sure.
no. He always does.
Yeah, he had like 3 people along with him in total. Like,
And do you remember that that League of Legends content creator, the guy who streams from his treadmill?
oh yeah, I remember. Shit, that's
There's actually a guy, guys, who actually plays League of Legends
on a
at a
treadmill.
very good rank and plays from his treadmill, like on his treadmill. And he's literally, I know he's not sprinting, but it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
And plus, it's a MOBA. Okay, you're like clicking, you click a million times all over the map. You have to look at things. You have to look at the map. You have to fight. You have to calculate. You have to, oh my God, you have to freeze waves. And I saw his game and I couldn't believe that. Okay, so I'll tell you how I discovered him. So I was watching another big content creator from League of Legends, and then he kept saying, "Oh, is this guy really playing from a treadmill?" And I was like, who's? And then this, they won, and this guy typed in all chat, and he's like, "This is my channel." And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check this guy out. And he was actually playing on a treadmill, and I sent it to you, and you were like, "Holy shit, is he really playing while he's working out?" And I'm like, "Yes."
It's insane the lengths that some content creator go to with dedication. Obviously, it's not just about. I mean, it's unique. It makes him stand out, sure, but it's just sheer dedication. I think
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna stream from the Delhi metro. The only problem is the internet would die.
I don't know how you're gonna do that. Honestly, I've been in Delhi metro once. It was nice, but I can't imagine you really actually doing that. That would be weird.
Yeah,
Having
Delhi metro.
announcements.
I mean, Delhi metro is the best metro. I'm sorry, the other metros that exist, you guys.
So this is such a typical Delhi versus Mumbai thing, by the way. Mumbai doesn't even have metro; it has local.
Please, Mumbai metro.
This is the typical South Delhi Romeo that.
South Delhi guys don't take metros. I don't remember taking the metro.
I like how this podcast is, while the first 30 minutes were educational, but now it's going to the point where I think there's no coming back. We might touch upon things which might be educational, but I think this is the best way to end the first season, right? First 5 episodes, and yeah, it's incredible how far we've come with all the guests that were so kind to drop by. So then that is Blair. We had Sukamal as well. We had Patrick. All wonderful people, and as a matter of fact, Sukamal would be more than happy to drop by again. I think his episode, right? I mean, we don't really come in prepared except for a couple of points that we want to talk about and some questions that we really want to ask. But I think we really went on a tangent on that one, right? At the end, coffee, like for 10 minutes straight, we just talking about coffee.
I knew. I was like, oh God, here we go again. Because
I had. Oh, by the way, it was a micro lot. I didn't know it was a micro lot. So now you can't buy that coffee anymore across the country. Like no matter what you do, you just can't get your hands on Heisenberg. I have the last 2 cups remaining, and I'm trying not to have it. I'm trying so hard not to have it because I'm trying to save them up for special days.
Okay.
Please get me some, Romeo. Please.
It's not like I know anyone who makes that coffee.
Why do I smell sarcasm over here?
I don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Also, like, yeah, about the guests. We're just gonna. We promise you, there's gonna be more guests, which are literally gonna blow your mind. Like, I'm not even kidding. I'm not exaggerating. Mama knows this.
Oh shit! Yeah,
and they're gonna be in every state of matter, liquid, solid. And don't get phased out from this. Yeah, but I envy our approach.
Oh, by the way, I bought these
Oh,
new pajamas. So good.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where did you get it from? 100 Thieves.
I wish. They do deliver to India, don't they?
We can make that happen.
Nate Shot, if you're listening, make it happen. I'm pretty sure he's not, but if he is, in case, if he does, I think you can make it happen, Romeo, with your new role. I'm sure. It's not been
Oh,
announced yet, but the
my
podcast only.
new role.
Yeah, the podcast only comes out after the announcement. I'm pretty sure. I think by the next Sunday, the announcement's going to be out, right?
I do not know what you're talking about, but I like the whole hype that you're creating.
Not creating any
I did
hype.
I did get a lot of okay, I think I can talk about this, but not I did get a lot of messages and people are kind of speculating. I do not know how, but yeah, I mean it feels good to be back to the whole grind, I guess.
It
I
took
took
quite a
I took a,
break, though.
yeah, I took 2 months sabbatical and I'm back. And I'll see you in the battlefield, Mama.
Oh, you see me in the Battlefield. Yes, Battlefield 2042, by the way, has been delayed.
Also, he's been trying to make me play this game.
Please, by all means, just buy it. I've been playing, dude. As a matter of fact, before we got on to do this podcast, I was playing BF4.
Hmm,
What I think 7-year-old game now at this point. Still
okay.
good, still good to go.
I mean, I play a 10-year-old game, League of Legends, so. But that again, the old League of Legends was a different looking League of Legends. And
Yeah, but I really think, Romeo, you should probably get some help for all the skins you buy.
no,
Yes. If we were to tally and add up all the money you spend on League, Romeo, I think
if we had to tally all the money you spend on coffee,
it's coffee, bro. It's what? It's
it's
450.
skins, bro. They are not as expensive as some other skins.
Fine, fair. Okay. Yeah, I said, you know what? You're actually right. I think if I wanted to get a Prime Phantom, would be what, 1,500 rupees, 2,000 rupees, I think.
Yeah, I spend
And
like less than $1,000 on a really nice skin.
that's fair enough. But to all the listeners, if you guys do follow us on social media and there's something that you guys want us to talk about in the new season, which is, I can't wait for it because I so want to tell them who possibly it could be, but we're gonna hold back on that. So if you guys want us to talk about something specific, please reach out to us. Drop us an email at. Oh wait, I forgot the email. Oh no!
Just DM me or him, or just
Yeah,
DM us at Lead Talk on Instagram.
yeah. Just DM us on Lead Talk. Yeah, that's the best way to go for it. I'm actually gonna try and look for the email. I don't remember what Lead Talk @mambasar.com, was it?
Can you just give them your business email?
Yeah, fine. Reach out to us reach out to me at business@mambasar.com, and we'll take that suggestion. But I think Romeo, yeah,
Yes. Also, let's not close it yet.
yeah.
Like we have a lot of hot tournaments going on.
Ooh, yeah.
Gambit won,
Yes, yes.
which I think no one predicted that, which is great. I love esports for that. Great. A lot of people are hating on Sentinels. I'm like, it's still a new game. I would not jump and hate them. They still play really good, and they're all professionals, they do get figured out, or let's just say, like I said, right, they are the best teams are the ones that really know how to work the meta for them on that day or on that tournament. Like, I think a lot of the professionals or competitors out there, or let's say uh semi-pro teams, know that at certain events there's this event meta. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
There, like, this is actually more relevant for MOBA because in that event a certain heroes work only somehow. I don't know how to explain it to all the battle royale FPS games, but I feel like Gambit figured that out, and props to them. Also, it's nice to see a much more array of teams now. We have so many teams, and I still feel like there's gonna be more crazy action coming up for Valorant, and also for mobile, right? Free Fire, India Championship Who do you think is gonna take it home?
Oh, this dude, it's
I want all the
incredibly
teams to listen to this.
it's incredibly difficult to predict this time because I think we have 10, 11 top contenders. I'd have to open up the list, but if I had to go from the top of my head, obviously some of the names that come up are Elite, GXR, Total Gaming, Blind, which was formerly known as Captains. God, I'm gonna miss out on some teams. But apart from that, who else would it be? TSM. How can I forget about TSM? Guys, I'm sorry if I'm missing out on certain teams, but these are some of the top contenders. Team Chaos, as a matter of fact. I think the last time they lost to GXR by 1 point, I think. 1 point? Yeah. In the last FFIC, 1 or 2 points. Imagine losing out on a title, which is what, 75 lakh rupees prize pool, just 2 points. If you had 2 points more, you would be crowned as champions for the FFIC. That's heartbreaking. But the fact that they keep on going is incredible. But one thing that you mentioned Gambit, right? I think it's become a habit of sorts. I still remember the CS:GO major that they won with Dosia
Yeah.
and all. Nobody knew, but the memes after that. Oh my goodness, the memes were unreal. And not just that, right? If I'm not mistaken, Sentinels did not drop one map the last time they played the
Yeah.
VCT.
So that's why
Uh,
I'm saying don't count them out yet. You never know. And I don't like how everyone is like, oh, they're not good anymore. Well, it's not very easy to dominate a game like Valorant, to be honest.
it is
If
not.
you actually play Valorant and then you play it for hours, you know how hard it is to play against a group of people who are as same skill as you are, because it's a different game, dude. It has no history yet, and it's so interesting because you have so many ways to play the game, right? The tactical aspect is crazy.
Let me
And
let me actually. Sorry, go on.
yeah, no. I'm saying it's. I was actually shocked that Envy did beat Sentinels, but then again,
Yeah.
that they play in the same region. You understand how they play, and yeah, dude. I was actually. I love Sentinels, but when you're beaten strategically and you kind of figure out, I also respect the other team because I'm like, it takes a lot of work to study a team like Sentinels.
let
And
me
then a
let,
lot of people are like, oh, they're predictable. Yes,
Sure,
of course, now you'll say that.
sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, let me throw you under the bus with this. We've seen a shift in the last 3-ish years now. A lot of the new action with regards to new titles, even esports titles for that matter, have started to revolve around content creation and content creators.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Because I feel like I think this was bound to happen eventually as the audience grew, as the consumers actually grew. But I still remember all these new titles, right? For example, I think there's a new Call of Duty coming out as well, and they reached out to a lot of these content creators who've been making content. Even Battlefield had early access. I'm pretty sure. So the fact that this is enabling a lot of casual players to get this information so quickly out there, so actually get that information, and again we go back to the same thing: numbers, the ability to pull an audience. But what do you feel about, like, general opinion on this?
To be honest, if you look at, okay, Valorant, for example, look at their new skin line. It's in collaboration with ZJ, right?
Yeah.
So this is not a new concept that Riot has done. They've done this with multiple other if you're someone who just started playing a Riot game, if you look at the League of Legends world, they have a whole skin line with KDA, which is a K-pop band,
Yeah.
which compromises of actual singers from all over the world, and
Is this? Oh wait, okay. You're just saying that in general.
yeah,
For
so
some reason, because I know you're in this you were in this vengeful mood before we
no, no,
started
no,
the
no.
podcast. I
No,
was like, you're
I'm
throwing shade.
no, I'm just saying that it's not a new concept, and every publisher is doing what we just said, right? I'm just gonna explain it in the simplest way. They're bringing the numbers through a content that anyone who doesn't even play the game would also like. They're trying to build a new player base at the same time. They're increasing, let's just say, the love for the game from the existing player base, right? Like, let's say I do not like the game so much, but I like this DJ, let's say. And then what if I start playing the game? That's more numbers, right? what if there's an event with just DJs, invitational? You never know. I'll watch it. Oh shit! Did I give out an idea?
You did.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah. So that's why you see a lot of the publishers do this. Not specifically targeting DJs. You see a lot of celebrity guest casters. It's not because they are so good at the game. It's because they bring a lot of value. They bring a lot of new audience also. I think people in the industry know this. It's just that, this all this information is for a lot of the young people who wonder why certain orgs or certain companies or certain publishers do it. Yep.
That's actually true. I remember I think the most outrageous event that I've ever seen is a CS:GO tournament, bots versus bots. It was an actual thing. It got good viewership, by the way. I think 10,
Wow.
15,000 people were watching bots.
Look at Connor bot killing Reed bot.
Just going at it. Imagine bots, okay, like proper bots, and they're not even the highest tier.
Oh, the ones that stare at you.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
And I think there was a ninja diffuse as well in one of
Wow.
those. Imagine I can't. I'm sorry. But honestly, yeah. If it brings in, if it taps into your curiosity, why not?
And there's a whole different topic for this. There's a whole different. There are different publishers which do things a little different. They explore the less esports route. They do the whole metaverse. They bring in more pop culture. They bring in a lot of things, not just to quench the thirst of the esports community, but they really want to bring new casual gamers in, right? Epic Games, for example, right? Fortnite.
Yes.
Yeah. I do not think a lot of people have even heard of Fortnite before they did that Travis Scott collaboration, and all those people who actually never played games but knew Travis Scott. And I think they spiked, their player base spiked during that.
Yeah,
And
no,
I think
absolutely.
the last collab with Ariana Grande also was crazy. And I saw the video and I was like, what? How? And it's crazy, right? They can do anything now. They'll bring a Jim Carrey, he'll do stand up and you'll watch him. Shit, there goes another idea.
What was that song that you keep quoting from Ariana? I see it.
Oh, Seven Rings. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. She played Seven Rings also. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Like the gaming world, the whole metaverse that brings all of this together to us fans is crazy. And
Honestly, I have this. I I go into this line of thought quite often. At least lately, I've been thinking about this quite often, and it's while we might talk about the history and how sometimes we feel like, hey man, we wish we had this back in our time, the resources or the
stop
opportunities.
saying that. Hello.
Listen,
Back in
listen,
our time, back in
listen.
इतने भी बुड्ढे नहीं हम.
Do you want me to tell your age out loud?
Guys, मैं 22.
Itna jhoot, lies, all lies. But no, I think we've been privileged. I use this word very carefully. We've been privileged enough to use
privileged?
yeah, to have been able to be in this industry from a very long time, especially when it was in such a nascent stage. Even right now, it's in a nascent state. But we are talking about a very small bunch of people, and we've been able to see this.
People don't believe me when I say that we've been in this industry for long. They are like,
yeah, because people want to lie about how long they've been here. They've been doing tournaments before the game actually released. Game releases 3 years back. They've been doing tournaments for 7. I'm like, sir.
I know. I've actually interviewed some people who've actually said that, and I'm like, huh? I'm like, beta version bhi nahi nikla tha tab.
So that's the reason I use the word privilege, because people got bullshit, at least us, through just dropping random numbers. And by this, I'm not trying to say that, hey man, we know everything. We don't. We still make mistakes all the time.
We don't. We are not saying we are the flag bearers. We are not Captain America or whatever
Absolutely
you
not.
But we usually call out bullshit if it's bullshit. And yeah, that's all. We don't want you guys to make the same mistakes that a lot of us did. Trust me, I think you've got a lot of messages from a lot of the old school guys. Yeah. And they did say, this is great. You should do this. It's just that the kind of guests that we bring into the show are also very experienced in a way that, they can share the kind of mistakes they've done. Like Blair have shared, Karn has shared, Patrick have shared, Sukamal have shared. We'll get you guys more, maybe younger guys, but then again, these younger guys might have had similar experiences as you, and might help you not make those same mistakes again. So yeah, you can call us rakwalas of whatever of the current generation, but we are also not saying that. I mean, you need to take risks also, though, but
Yeah, absolutely.
don't do the most obvious thing, right? You know that you're gonna fall and you're gonna hit your head, and you're like, no, no, I'm just still gonna jump. I want to see how it hurts. Yeah,
Also, kids, for all of you guys who are below 18 or below 15 and listening, if you are, I would be very happy if you are, because there's like great knowledge for you guys. Don't quit school for this.
yeah.
Just
Oh
don't.
my God, please! I
Don't.
saw. Thank you for bringing this up. The amount of messages that say, "Sir, मेरे parents को समझाओ." Sir, and then I am like, what is it that you really want them to know? They're like, I'm good at the game. I'm like, listen, I also used to play competitive, but the one reason why my parents made me play, I know this doesn't work for everyone, but I promise my parents and my grandparents that I'll make sure my studies don't get affected. That was the only thing I could do, and I knew I was good at
Okay,
my.
I think I want to address this.
Do
For
not
a
quit
lot.
school,
Yeah,
college,
no, no.
please.
Yeah.
Don't.
And I'll actually address this in both the languages, English and Hindi.
Yeah.
For those of you guys who are listening to this in Hindi, I'll go in English first. So your parents, right, especially Indian parents, at least we can speak for them. They want you to grow. It's not like they don't want you to grow and succeed, but they want you to grow and succeed in the safest manner possible. We are still a young country. If your parents are old in their 50s or late 60s, or if you have grandparents around, when we, again, I'm going way back in the past, when we just got independent, there were not a lot of opportunities. You did whatever you could. They just don't want you to go through the same thing again. So that's the reason they're like, hey man, if you get a job, you'll be secure financially, and then you can do whatever you want. But the one thing that they will never be able to understand, and they will never have the perspective for, is the competitive side of gaming. So as long as you can make your parents feel that financially, or with regards to your career, or if you're a student with regards to your grades, if you don't let that suffer, if you make sure your grades are good, if you're an adult, you have a job, if you make sure financially you're secure, they won't interfere. At least most of them won't. I'm sure that there are situations where some parents can be more controlling, but this still gives you leverage to negotiate, where you can be like, hey man, I really want to follow this, but at the same time I have a job, I'm getting good grades. Then they have no reason. You're taking away the only ammunition they have from them, which is going to stop you from playing games, is that, hey man, you're getting bad grades, no games for you. एंड हिंदी में अगर बताऊं, सेम चीज वापस बोलना चाहूंगा कि आपके पेरेंट्स चाहते हैं कि आप आगे बढ़े, सक्सीड करें, आप सफल हो, बट वो चाहते हैं कि आप सेफ होके सफल हो, कि आपका अगर जॉब है, आप अगर नौकरी कर रहे हो, तो आप फाइनेंशियली सिक्योर हो जाओगे, आपको पैसों की चिंता नहीं है। अगर आप पढ़ रहे हो तो आपके मार्क्स अच्छे आ रहे हैं, आपके नंबर अच्छे आ रहे हैं। सो लेट देम फील सेफ कि नहीं, आप पढ़ाई वगैरह अच्छे से कर रहे हो, एंड एट द सेम टाइम देन यू कैन प्ले। you're taking away that लेवरेज दे हैव, कि आप जो खाली एक चीज जिसके ऊपर वो डांट सकते हो, तुम्हारे नंबर अच्छे नहीं आ रहे, वो आप वो ले रहे हो उनसे, बोले मेरे नंबर अच्छे आ रहे हैं, अब मुझे खेलने दो। दैट्स इट।
No, there's going to be counter arguments, right? नहीं, मेरे नंबर भी अच्छे आते, खेलने नहीं देते.
बट दैट्स अगेन दैट दिस
There's a
इज
lot. इसमें बहुत सारे, like there's a lot of different roads, and there's a lot of people who are like, I am good, but if you are good, then you should be doing really well, that you're financially doing decent also. I mean, okay, if you are in the mobile ecosystem and if you are not signed to an org, and a lot of people also say, how do we get signed to an org? It's the same thing, right? You get good, you yield good results, then they notice you, then they also want to invest and support you. They will. It's the whole parents wala thing. It's just that it's just unknown people who's trying to support, a group of organizations out there. It sounds like a very simple thing to say, but
इट्स नॉट,
you,
इट्स नॉट।
if you're really good at it and you have a stable set of income and you are able to bring in, if you're able to balance a lot of things, or let's say, okay, let's address this thing. Okay, let's say some people are not good in their studies, but they're great at the game. there comes a point in time, if you are in a mobile circuit and you're earning pretty decent, I think the price pools are crazy. Okay, they're all
Yeah.
crazy. If you are able to show that to your parents, that hey, you know what, I'm able to make a pretty decent living, and I am sure they'll understand. I am not saying 100% of them will understand,
Yeah.
but if you are yielding the results and if you're financially stable, your parents would understand. But if there must be something you may have done in the past that they might not understand, because this whole thing is new for them.
Yeah.
It's new for a lot of people, like, even with, okay, look at Mamba. His profession is very new for a lot of people. He cannot just go to someone and say मैं games के बारे में माइक
बात
में
करता
बात
हूँ.
करता हूँ, मैं बक करने का पैसा लेता हूँ. If he says that, some people might laugh at him like, what, like,
It happens even now.
yeah.
It does. And I think you're right. There are parents who might not be just happy with you getting good grades. I still remember
Yeah.
when I was in 12th, I was getting decent grades. I was not getting bad grades. I had 80% in my 10th, which is decent enough. So I still remember until the point when I went to ICGC and my team won the silver medal and I came back with a medal from Goa. I was 15. And बहुत बहुत मेहनत मशक्कत के बाद my mom still had a reservation. She didn't want me to go. My dad was still okay, but up until that point, until she held the medal in her hand, she felt like I was wasting my time. But that is when she realized, maybe, just maybe, he has something in gaming that he's doing. Maybe he's doing something right because he won a tournament, or maybe he got second place. My grades were fine, but even then she had this reservation. She was like, स्कूल खत्म कर ले, कॉलेज खत्म कर ले, उसके बाद कर लेना तुझे जो करना है वो. But luckily I've had an elder brother who used to be a cricketer, and he understood the focus and the discipline you need, the time commitment that you need to succeed in something like this. And my brother just literally said this to my mom, like, dude, by the time he's gonna complete his college, he's gonna be like, get married now. How is he going to do this? So let him do
I'm
this.
sure a lot of people are like, right now.
So luckily I had my elder brother step in and be like, hey, you know what? Let him do this. Let him stay in Surat and see if he can manage to do so. I had a deadline, by the way. I was given a deadline. First year to the fourth year in college. By the end of my college, if I was able to succeed as a YouTuber or by any means in the gaming industry, I would be allowed to do this. Otherwise, I would have to pick up a conventional job. And it's quite funny because I'd almost forgotten about this. I'd completely forgotten about this, that I had a condition like this. Because by the time I was done with college, I was already fairly well established, at least in India, where I had regular gigs coming in. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, if look, I'm not talking about parents who are super controlling, but I think you can have a dialogue. Just sit down with them, ask them just point blank, what is it that you need me to do because of which you'll allow me to play the game. I want to play games. I want to compete. I want this much time in my day to dedicate to the game. What is it that you feel I need to do so that you would allow me to do this? That's apart from if you can't have a dialogue, then obviously there's no way you can convince your parents. But if you can sit down and have this dialogue with your parents, I'm sure you guys will be able to find some middle ground on this.
No, that is true. I mean, I've I can give you a perfect example, but it would be super long. I mean, one
That's
of my
okay.
old teammates when I was competing 1.6, I think a lot of you know him as Stetmaker, right?
Ooh.
He
Yes.
was what, 15, 16 when he was in my team, and his parents were so against him playing. But look at him now, dude. Like, he's one of the best aimers in the country, and he made sure that he chose his dreams. At the same time, his condition was different. Okay, I'll be very honest. He went through a lot. Uh, I will talk about another teammate of mine whose parents did not support him even one bit. The difference with these two guys was, Sunny, that maker, chose to be a little bit of a rebel. I'm sorry, he was a total rebel. The other guy was this disciplined kid, but he was really good too. What I'm trying to say is, you can be the other Sunny also, because you might think, oh, I cannot go against my family. That's fine. You can be the other kid also, right? There are different types of Sunny at every house. We've been there, right? If you cannot find a middle ground, then you know what, you can try again, dude. It's the same. It's like a job application. You're like, I'll come back to you later.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you with better grades, or I'll come back to you with a plan. I'm sure all the old school players have a very similar story where they try to convince their parents. Yeah. Uh, Props to all those players whose parents have supported them right away. Great. But I know that not every household or family allows their children to play games all day and would say sabash.
Oh
आज
no no
कितने को
no.
मारा तुमने? अभी तक आयरन है.
Oh,
So
I
yeah.
remember when my okay, so a lot of people don't know
I
this.
also, I'm sorry if you are gonna be iron for 3 years, then maybe
Yeah,
try a
yeah,
different game.
yeah. Sure. My grandmother did not have, so like obviously she's what 70, 75. I still remember back when my mom was going through this medical condition. Now she's completely fine. So we're very lucky because of that for it. Well, I lost my words. The moment I think about that part, right, I lose my words. But the point is that I still remember my grandmother would sleep in my room, so I would place a chair between the monitor and her face so that the light does not disturb her, and that is how I would play. And I would whisper like, "Ah, wo tere piche hai. He's two guys on me." But the point I'm trying to make is every time she would wake up, she would not sleep until I switch my PC off. So there will be
Oh,
moments where you just would hit a brick wall and you'd be like, what do I do?
yeah,
Nothing at
I
that
think
point.
I have a similar story, but it was different. Yeah.
So sometimes you might hit a brick wall, but you just have to figure out a way. I still remember in my 12th grade, a month before my exam, I was playing a scrim at 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning. My mom walks in, and I knew that every night around 1:30 she would come in and check on me just to make sure I'm not playing. And I would know what I would do is switch off my monitor because we didn't have RGB back then. Guys were boomers, so I would switch off my monitor and straight up jump into bed. Okay, and this one time I missed it because it was an intense scrim, and she didn't say anything at that point. Next morning, I wake up. We used to live on the 10th floor. My school bag. So the moment I wake up, right, she's like, "Oh yeah, you woken up." She goes to the balcony, 10th floor. She's holding my school bag outside the window like this. Choose one: gaming or studies. What are you gonna do? And this is after the fact that I'd gotten that silver medal from ICGC because 12th is very important to get into college and whatnot. I was like, fine, I'll study. And then for the next 3 months, I studied, appeared for JW as well, which I didn't want to.
No, Mamba took the school back and played.
But dude, yeah, we've all been through it. I know it's tough. We're not taking anything away from your struggle, guys. Just because we feel that hey, opportunities were different, it doesn't mean that your struggle is any less than ours. Or it's not even a comparison. It's just that
Yeah.
we are sharing our experiences. Maybe it helps you guys get some more perspective. Serves as motivation for some. I don't
Maybe
know.
play this podcast.
Yeah, to your parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this. Remember the 2014 Katowice major where Virtus Pro actually won the major?
Yeah.
CSGO, yeah. So I there was an after movie, an official after movie, which would show the sport deck. Oh god, I have goosebumps thinking about this. Which would show the sport deck arena. I have misty eyes. I'm not even kidding. Okay, talking about this, and the players walking out, and it was a proper after movie, and it showed the entire vibe and what gaming truly is and what you can do with it. I remember I would actually go around with that video on my phone, and I still remember there was a school teacher which used to live right across the door on my floor, and my mom would always complain to him like he's not studying. Can you please come in and talk to him and tell him and explain how important studies is
Did
and
you show
whatnot?
that video to your teacher?
I did. Not my teacher. He studied in a different school. He taught in a different school, and he had tuition classes as well. So he comes to my place, and I tell him. So both of them are sitting at my place. So they knew that I'm a disciplined kid that way. I was not really a troublemaker. But I told them, okay, fine, you're done with your conversation. Now hear me out. I put the video on TV, and I am bawling my eyes out by the end. I am literally bawling my eyes out, and I think I was 17.
He was
Around
bawling
17.
his eyes because ये 1080 में क्यों नहीं है?
No. Hey, come on. No. So I was crying because they had no clue that gaming is this big or esports is this big, and I told them how do I go around explaining this to everyone? N- Nobody knows this, and nobody wants to understand it. And I still remember I made a promise to him. Like one day you'll look back to this moment and you'll know that okay, fine, this kid was saying something. I still remember this. Last year, I think around November, December, after we moved out, uh, the auntie calls my mom and she recalled that moment. Like I remember Ranjit had said this. Like, I'll figure something out in the gaming world. I had no clue I'll be a caster or something. I was like, I'll play, maybe just make some amount of money, become a YouTuber, something. But I had this हिंदी में जुनून कहते I had this I forgot the word in English. Uh, I
No,
had
what did
I
she say? What did she say?
she said, oh, they just laughed about it. Like, that kid was he said that we didn't believe him, but he's made it in my own
Oh,
eyes. Yeah, like
that's
sure,
sweet.
I might not be the most popular guy on Twitch or whatever, but in my eyes, I feel like every single goal that I had in my life, I've ticked the entire thing. At this point on, everything is a bonus.
His
I've
biggest goal was to do a podcast with me, by the way.
fuck off.
Now his life is complete.
But I'll tell you what. I forgot the point. So this is what happens when you get too emotional, right?
Also,
But
his second goal is to get me to Surat.
oh yeah, dude, we need to go to Miraki. Coffee, bro. Oh, by
Meraki
the way,
sponsor us.
Miraki sponsored. You know, I'm actually going to clip this out. I'm gonna tag the owner if I can, and be like, guys, please, we sponsor esports.
Yeah,
Become the first.
but there's no point in sponsoring us because he'll take all the coffee.
But no, I'll send you some. I'll send you some.
Wow.
Some.
I'll take 800 of it. You take 2.
ठीक है भाई. But yeah, dude, we can go on and on about these moments, right? And it's just great that I could go down the memory lane today. I did not see the podcast going this direction. No chance.
No, I completely get it. Yeah, like I mean, I'm very emotional also, but I'm not emotional like publicly. I will not like
Yeah.
get too comfortable that way. But our journeys are very different, right? I mean, I never thought I would work with a publisher or even, to be honest, work in gaming.
Yeah.
I was always that try hard kid who I would play less. I would actually analyze more. I was one of those guys. I used to look up to Karn. What I'm trying to say is we've had Karn on the show, right, Patrick? I actually had him on my computer desktop wallpaper when they won IEM. And my team used to literally, we had Xerox copies of Fanatics playbook, and and then this was my was one of my nicknames. So like XM PFX for Karn.
Ooh.
Yeah, what I'm trying to tell a lot of people is dreams do come true, you kind of have to work for it. Like a lot of people might not know, but I might not have shown that, but even sitting with Karn, was really surreal. This was not the first time. The podcast was not the first time I've spoken to Patrick. I've spoken to him a couple of years back regarding a role, and it was surreal. These small moments are really huge for gamers like us. And if I could go back 7-8 years ago and talk to my past self, I would be like, dude, just keep doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Just a message to a lot of people out there. Like, I know you guys might look at Sentinels, or might look at, I don't know, T1, TSM, might look at Wardell, might look at Shout, and you're like, oh, I want to be that guy one day. It is I'm okay. Not gonna sound very filmy. You never know, dude. If you work hard, you never know where life takes you. To be honest, we could go on and on and on about all of
Sound very
this,
preachy about this.
but if you really put in the whole grind, you're grinding, you're putting in all the work, and you're humble. Trust me, stay humble.
Yep.
And you're not doing it just for the money. You will get there. I am sure Mamba has fucked up a lot of times. I have fucked up. We've made a lot of stupid decisions. I have made tons of stupid decisions. But if you get sidetracked, it's okay. We all do. We're humans. But trust me, we all dreamt of something, and when we achieve those things, and when you look back, it's the best feeling in the world.
Oh yeah, I think no amount of money can buy that. no amount of money is ever going to be able to find, is never going to be able to buy the satisfaction of those moments in our lives. I
Yep.
still remember when I got the letter from World Cyber Arena 2016. There was an event happening in China, and I got the final formal letter of invitation. I went to my mom again because I cry quite often when I'm emotional. Again, I put my head in her lap and I just started crying without telling her anything, and she freaked out 5 minutes straight. And I finally showed her the email. I was like, "Hey man, I got the letter," and all these moments, right? And the other thing I wanted to talk about was you will get opportunities in the least expected manner, in the least expected positions. I still remember the only reason why I started casting is because I bunked the last two lectures in my college. If I didn't bunk those lectures, I would not have been on that team speak. I would have not interacted with the guy who gave me my first opportunity. And yeah, I could have been in a very different timeline altogether right now. But the one thing that separates you from the crowd, that separates you from the rest, and what makes an opportunity truly an opportunity is the skill you have.
Yep.
You need to work day in, day out, every single day to build that skill so that when an opportunity truly presents itself, you can grab it by both hands.
Also, remember what Blair said, right? So then said, you need to be so good, even if people hate you, they'll still hire you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a great line. And it's one of the reasons why I really like Sudan. He has this personality about him where he knows that, I bring this to the table. And I feel like a lot of us have one part of us that is very different from others. And to be honest, with anyone who also tries to come into the industry, if you want to add a lot of value to an organization, you really need to be that. I'm just gonna say, like, you need to be there needs to be something about you, right? That sets you apart from the other guys. It's not like a job application. It's just that let's say you're someone who's trying to get uh you're trying to get into a publisher, and you have no experience as a programmer, example. But let's say you're super good at character design, or let's say you're super good at storytelling. They might pick you up as someone who's gonna be making what the lore or character development. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different roles in the publishing house. I'm just saying that if you are I'm not saying you need to be the best, but if there's even one part of you which is super different and where you're very unique, trust me, there are going to be people who will actually hire you. And I have asked a lot of my bosses who I've had really good relationships with, and I've always asked them, why did you hire me? And can I be honest, there was one very um, common answer they gave me. They said, you're good with people.
That
And,
is true, though. That is so true.
and it's funny because I was a very shy guy, nerdy classes, used to play 1.6 in a CRT monitor all day, and used to freak out if people would ask him out. But now, I'm not that same guy anymore, but I've learned from all I've kind of used that to my advantage also. I know the kind of audience that watches me, and I know that, because when you work with a publisher, I know that a lot of the kids out there, or a lot of the young audience, are pretty shy. And when they come to me and ask me things, I know how to talk to them. I guess that's why they say I'm good with people. And that's why I also had a pretty good relationship with a lot of content creators in the previous organization. Yeah. So simple filmy dialogue. Just keep doing what you're doing. Maybe create a vision board, or write it down and just remind yourself, why you want to do this. And when you actually look back at the journey, you're actually going to be super happy. Of course, you don't have to give up just because something went wrong. We'll go for 100 episodes. We tell you what we did wrong.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Oh God. But you know what? I Romeo made all the sense towards the end.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna do what I do best,
And
and
it
that is No, 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 no. Be impulsive and tell you guys, just wing it, man. Fuck it, just wing it. Go for it. Sometimes you don't need. Sometimes you don't need to have the best of plans. Sometimes you don't even need to have a plan. I didn't have a plan. God knows I didn't have a plan.
I
Things fall
didn't
in place.
either.
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah.
And please, I'm. Oh my god, I have a lot to talk. There are a lot of people also. When I was in Garina, I used to get messages from people who used to say, "I'm from a very small city." I am from
Oh,
one of
yeah.
the smallest cities. I am from Manipur, Imphal. Blair, that this mammoth caster that you see is also from. Mamba is not from. What's that? Bombay or Delhi.
Yeah.
Why I'm saying Bombay is because Mumbai was like it still
It's
has
still the
houses
hub. Yeah.
one of the best professional or most, let's just say the best teams in India. We are all from really small cities region, especially me. And I'm just giving you an example because I'm the one telling you all this. If I can do it, trust me, anyone can.
Yeah.
Anyone can. Yep.
Lads, all you need is 1 GB a day and 10,000 rupees a phone. Yeah, that's it. That's all you need.
नहीं तुमको iPhone 13 Pro Max चाहिए if you're तुम pro बन जाएगा.
मत बोलो भाई, कोई ले लेगा, सही में ले लेगा भाई.
मजाक कर रहा हूँ, मजाक कर रहा हूँ.
मजाक करे guys.
हाँ, प्रो भी है, मैक्स भी है, देखो. नाम में मजाक कर रहा हूँ.
God, dude, Romeo, no.
If
That's
I'm kidding. That
that's
was a joke, guys.
that's such a bad joke. That's actually a good joke. You
Yeah.
know, there's this graph. Joke goes bad, 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 and gets to a point where it's like so good. Yeah, that's where you were. But I think this is where
Anyway,
we ended. Yeah.
yep. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in. Season 2 is super spicy.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Those noodles, bro, gave me. I've died for two days straight. The spicy noodles.
And if you never know, we might pop in one day again. I mean, we will, but not at this current schedule that we are following.
Yeah, no. But yeah, apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being so supportive, giving us so much love and such a great response to all of you guys, to every single listener out there.
You want to give us out?
Oh yes, please. But yeah, no, we truly appreciate you, and we'll see you guys around in the second
No,
season.
I'm saying, who do you want to give us out?
Oh wait, I thought you said the viewers will give us a shout out. But who do I want to give a shout out to?
I'll give a shout out to Bhavya and Abhinav though.
Oh yes, Bhavya
Yeah.
and Abhinav. Yes, Bhavya is the associate that helps us with everything with the publishing. Make sure all the episodes go out on time. Is the one bugging us both because we sometimes can slack off. And every morning, like, what's the caption for this clip that's going to go out? And Abhinav, obviously, the editor. The editor supreme. Even Abhinav. Oh, dude, I want to mention this. I'm sorry we were going to end this, but I need to mention this. The day when I hired Abhinav last year, he's always been my editor. He did not have a PC to edit on. He literally did not have a PC. I still hired him.
Guys, Socho, editor bina PC. Thang.
Okay, no, this sounds very dramatic. Trust me.
This is true, guys. I was like, what?
Yeah.
How did he edit?
Yeah, so he would sit down with his friend who had a PC, his college friend. But what Abhinav would do is go through the video all by himself, would know the timestamps, would draw up a story for the video, and then just sit down with his friend and ask him to do that bit. And he would actually, if I'm not mistaken, he would share the salary as well. But he's been through that grind. Now he has a very good PC, 2 monitors, everything you might need as an editor. But imagine if he had that thing where, and I'll tell you why I hired him. Purely for his intent to work, because he was really, really hardworking. If I told him one thing, I would never have to tell him twice, ever. And up until this point, I don't remember one instance where I had to be like, hey man, Abhinav, why are you not doing this? That's the reason, that's the quality that I look for. And that's something that Romeo also mentioned. Something that truly separates you. His intent to work overcame every single thing, every single adversity there was. He was an editor for me without a PC for the longest of times. If he can do it, anybody, all of you guys can. I don't know. This is. I know I'm being too anal about this, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I really wanted to give a shout out to those guys because you listen to all of this, you watch us only because of Abhinav and Bhavya.
Yep. So yeah, with that being said, Romeo,
Yeah.
I think this is this is finally ended. I think I've already tried to end it like 4 times now.
Yeah.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys around. Bye bye.